Hi, my name is Sheila Karuna. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love and Sassy Seer Sheila, as this will be seen on both channels. This is The Sacred Fire, The True Nature of the Creative Mind by Jason Gray. To be creative in the truest, most profound sense is not merely to possess imagination or skill. It is to be set apart, to be born with a nature so rare, so consuming that one does not merely live in the world, but is constantly reshaping it, translating the ineffable into form. These are the souls for whom existence is an unbearable cacophony without the solace of creation. They are neither ordinary nor chosen, but something else entirely. Beings driven by an invisible force, a divine madness, an affliction, and a gift interwoven so completely that they cannot be separated. That's very true from my perspective. I have several beings like that in my short little tiny circle. Jason is one. Christian Hemphill, Journey into It, the Mother of Mourning, she is another. Those two most specifically are driven by something completely otherworldly that I don't, in my estimation, from my perspective, I won't pretend to understand. And quite frankly, I'm not quite sure either one of them completely understand it either. And I know there are more out there, not just those two. I have known others, but those two most specifically. These are the people who stand at the threshold between the known and the unknown, between chaos and order, between the formless void and the world of meaning. They are the bridge between what is and what could be, the ones who feel the unbearable weight of reality pressing against their skin, and instead of being crushed by it, turn it into something else, something luminous, something eternal. They are not like others, for their minds do not operate within the boundaries of convention. They do not see life as a series of linear events, but as an unfolding cosmos of infinite interconnections where others see facts, they see symbols. Where others feel emotions, they experience storms. A whisper to them is a scream, a glance, a revelation. The smallest sorrow expands within them until it becomes a tragedy. The simplest joy is transformed into something so rapturous it nearly shatters them. To love is to worship. To lose is to die. There is no middle ground. There never has been. Oh my. I'm being shown Crystal's new book that she's been working on that I have had the privilege to read. They were born with this affliction. They did not ask for it, and they cannot turn it off. They are different in the marrow of their being, crafted by forces they cannot name, but which dictate their every breath. Some call it the divine. Crystal, just now, I'm telling you, telepathy is real. I am recording this. This is not live. And I just mentioned her name and she just popped up on my phone with a short little message to me. Telepathy is nothing that we've been told it is at all, but my observation is it is absolutely real. Wow. I'm going to begin this paragraph again. They were born with this affliction. They did not ask for it, and they cannot turn it off. They are different in the marrow of their being, crafted by forces they cannot name, but which dictate their every breath. Some call it the divine spark, others madness, but whatever name it is given, the truth remains. They are not as others are. The curse of infinite sensitivity. These souls are condemned to feel too much, to hear the faintest echoes of sorrow in the laughter of the world, to see beauty so overwhelming that it brings them to their knees. Their senses are heightened beyond what is bearable. Their emotions so vast, they seem to stretch beyond the limits of the body itself. To them, a word can cut deeper than a blade. A touch can burn like fire. A moment of inspiration can lift them into the heavens, but the absence of creation is suffocation, a slow and merciless death. The very act of living unfiltered is often too much. This sensitivity isolates them. How could it not? They are adrift in a world that does not understand them, does not perceive what they perceive, does not feel the pulse of existence vibrating in every stone, every shadow, every breath of wind. They are exiles, even among those they love. For how could they explain the intensity of their experience without sounding mad? How could they reduce their world, their vast, uncontainable world, into words small enough for others to understand? And so they create creation as survival. For these beings, creation is not a pastime. It is not ambition, nor indulgence, nor even a choice. It is survival. It is the single desperate means by which they take the chaos inside them and force it into something that makes sense, something that others can see, hear, touch, and feel. Without creation, they suffocate beneath the weight of their own minds. It is not simply that they want to create, it is that they must. To deny them this is to deny them oxygen, to rip the soul from their flesh and leave them gasping in a world where they cannot breathe. This is why so many creative souls descend into madness, addiction, despair when they are unable to create. Without the act of transmutation, without the sacred process of turning feeling into form, they are lost. And the very thing that makes them extraordinary becomes their torment. The same force that drives them to paint, to write, to compose, to build also threatens to consume them if left untended. For them, creation is an alchemy of the highest order. It is the means by which they translate the unbearable into the beautiful, by which they pull something eternal from the formless abyss. It is the only way they know to stay alive. I want to say this about what he's writing about here. For me, I see many who get confused by having this because what they're told about themselves, they know isn't quite right. But when you are told over and over and over and over again that what you're experiencing can't be real, isn't quite right, it's not like everybody else, and therefore you are wrong or you are somehow less than. No wonder I know with all of me that asylums have been flooded and full with creatives that have this very thing, that have been so misunderstood by the rest of us. I just know that with all of me. Back to Jason's work here, the cosmic burden of the creative mind. But why? Why are they like this? Why are some born with this fire in their blood while others live in quiet simplicity, untouched by this relentless need? Because the world requires them. They are the ones who build meaning from dust, who hear the hidden rhythms of the universe and set them to song, who take the intangible, love, grief, wonder, despair, and forge it into something real. Without them, life would be colorless. Oh my God. Okay, I was just now flashed. I posted, okay, today is Monday, June the 23rd, 2025. On my Facebook page this morning, I posted a YouTube video that I was shown that I had to look at this morning. And it was a conversation, a snippet of conversation between Jordan Peterson and Chris or Oliver Anthony. This is what is being discussed there as well. They're connected somehow because I'm just being flashed that. Wow. I'm going to start this again because as I started to read this here, I was flashed that video. Even if you're not my Facebook friend, my page is set to public, and I highly recommend that you find that video. They are the ones who build meaning from dust, who hear the hidden rhythms of the universe and set them to song, who take the intangible, love, grief, wonder, despair, and forge it into something real. Without them, life would be colorless, soundless, barren. There would be no poetry, no symphonies, no great cathedrals stretching toward the heavens. There would be no myths to guide us, no visions to inspire us, no revelations to shake us from our slumber. These souls are burdened with the task of making the unseen visible. They are not mere artists, writers, musicians, thinkers. They are the architects of meaning itself. They take the formless chaos of existence and give it shape, turning human longing into something tangible, something that can be shared, understood, felt. The tragic paradox, fire that both burns and illuminates. But this gift is also their torment. They live on the edge of madness because they are always reaching beyond what is known. And I will submit to you that part of the reason that is because they've been told that reaching, that very act of reaching, is madness. In my point of perspective, if they hadn't been raised to think there was something wrong with them for that reaching, then it wouldn't be their torment. That's from my perspective, not Jason's. This gift is also their torment. They live on the edge of madness because they are always reaching beyond what is known, always seeking to grasp something just beyond the limits of human understanding. That's why it's been labeled as wrong or bad, because the people in their lives don't get it. The greatest beauty they create comes at the cost of their own peace. Hopefully someday that won't be the case. They are the ones who spend sleepless nights staring into the abyss, who sacrifice comfort, stability, even sanity in pursuit of something higher. And yet, for all their suffering, they are the ones who leave behind the legacies that outlive time. For what is art but the lingering echo of a soul that could not bear to remain silent? What is poetry but the voice of a heart so full it had to pour itself out onto the page? What is music but the cry of a mind that could not contain the vastness of what it felt? These are the beings who live between the realms. And there are so many other beings that actually this applies to, but they don't allow themselves to create for those very same reasons. They've been told that is madness, or you're not good enough, or whatever those things are. These are the beings who live between the realms, who stand on the precipice of the infinite, forever translating the unspoken into something that can be touched, seen, heard, known. And so they create, not because they want to, not because they choose to, but because if they did not, they would cease to exist. Oh my goodness. Yes, I couldn't agree more, Jason. I love that. And I'm going to put in the show more section of this video a link to Ancient Order of the Hermetics Facebook page, which is where you can find all of Jason's writings. As I am not nudged to record all of them the moment he puts them out. I couldn't keep up. There's no way I could keep up with that. But also, I'm also going to put in the show more section of this video, a link to Journey Intuits, which is Crystal Hemphill, my partner on New Light Streaming Love, her creations as a way for you to be able to support her as she recovers from spinal surgery. She is a single mom, and she has created her own designs and put them out on t-shirts and things like that. There's lots of different things available that you could take advantage of, that you could help to support her as she recovers. She does have a job, but as you might imagine, after having spinal surgery, you can't go to work immediately. So, wow. I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy. And if you are one of these sorts of creatives who has been convinced that you aren't worth, your creations aren't worth, or I'm not an artist, or whatever it is you think you got going on there, are you? Or did you buy into the program? I would love to hear your comments about this. If you find these and other things I do useful, please do subscribe and share these around. I love you guys. Until next time, mwah, be well.